already know the drill. We back again with another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So strap on your seatbelts, cause it's all pedal to the metal from here. And without further ado, your amazing host, Drew Billy.
How we doing? Welcome back to another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here with your host, DB and Trevor Dinsmore. How are we doing tonight, Trevor?
Yeah, doing okay, bud. Enjoying a couple beverages here. Of course, my nice malt beverage and some nice ginger beer. Two types of beer, one of them alcoholic, one of them not.
Right.
Very eventful weekend, to say the least. All across sports, really. A lot of big headlines coming up. And we'll touch on them as we go here, but you wanted to kick us off with some rule changes, right? You want to dive right into the heat stuff?
Yeah, let's just give the viewers what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So
Might as well.
if you're unaware of what the hell's going on in the past couple days here, the most significant rule changes in NFL history has come from the NFL owners, league owners voted today. A very big change with the kickoff. So it's basically like XFL rules, Trevor, if I'm not mistaken.
As far as I can understand it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'll let you summarize. Go ahead.
Oh, no, basically it's just the kicker's kicking off, from the 35 still. And then it kind of goes in. 11 people are on the field at one time on either side. I think people know that. But after the guy has to catch the ball, and then the guys can take off on the kickoff team. Is that correct, or am I mistaken on? Because this is going to be boring as shit. I can't.
Yeah, it's basically like the snap of a football, but with a kick. Yeah, you kick the ball, guy receives it, and then all hell breaks loose. As far as I know, like the wedge blocking and the double team blocking, I believe that's still outlawed. So, it's just straight one-on-one blocking. But at least, guys aren't going to kick it through the end zone every single time. And it's going to be more or less a formality like the old extra point was. You know what I mean? It's just, you get an early commercial break. If extra point was at the 2-yard line, if you got Harrison Butker or Justin Tucker kicking off, you basically got an extra commercial break. Go get a beer, take a piss, whatever you got to do. But now, you're actually gonna have an entertaining play to put on the field there. And not only that, you're going to give guys on special teams an opportunity to show their stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because a lot of players were complaining about that a lot of guys get their start through special teams. And if you can't make plays, make game-changing plays, ball out on special teams, it's really tough to get a shot elsewhere if you're, second, third, fourth on the depth chart. So a very welcome rule change. We'll get into some of the non-welcome ones as we go throughout here, but that one was a very welcome one. And honestly, that I partially watched XFL when it was starting out. And I thought, I'm like, you know what? That rule, let's get the NFL on board with that. And here we are, a couple years later, and NFL changing the kickoff for the first time in a meaningful way in a long time. And I did want to bring up this point too, even though, kickoffs, touchbacks were much more common, kicking off from the 35-yard line. And not just that, the athleticism of these kickers is just off the charts nowadays. But anyway, moving the kick from the 30 to the 35 led to an increase in touchbacks. But I read a pretty key point right before the show here. It did not lead to a decrease in what the metric of concussions per kickoff. Like in the gross amount of concussions, yeah, it obviously led to a decrease, less returns, less concussions. But on a per capita basis, it was pretty much the same. So that was a big factor from my understanding of this rule change.
I gotcha. No, and then the other big rule here that's one superstar, I guess, star that got affected by this tackle last year, Trevor, last season, the hip drop tackle, and that's Mark Andrews. Coach Harbaugh lost his fucking mind due to this play.
Yep.
Is it really that big of an issue to have this taken out? Or is it?
I didn't think it was until I saw some of the numbers associated with this.
Okay.
And I read when that hip drop swivel move is used. And let me be clear on this too. The hip drop tackle itself is not banned. Not all hip drop tackles use this swivel type of move where you land on the guy's legs, and Lord knows what happened. Extension. God forbid, the leg bends in a way it shouldn't. It's nasty. It's nasty. But all of these swivel hip drop tackles, that's what's banned. That's what's banned, not the actual hip drop tackle itself. You can still come from the side and grab the guy, wrap him around his waist and bring him down. You just can't weigh yourself down and then trap his legs underneath your body. And that's what happened to Mark Andrews. Legs got trapped underneath the body in the worst way possible, and he was out for a good chunk of the season, I believe, with an ankle injury. Yeah. So not a good situation there. Speaking of the numbers of that, the officials ran the numbers, and when that hip swivel type move was used in comparison to a common tackle, you're 25 times more likely to get a leg injury. Oh, so, thing was, it was pretty unanimous among the competition committee, and I guess NFL owners, I guess they approved that today. So that's official. And my worry is that it's another thing for the officials to be subjective about. It's another thing they got to watch out for in what is one of the hardest games to officiate ever. You got these pro athletes moving at 20 plus miles an hour, and you're expected to see each and every little thing that goes wrong and throw a flag. And, and of course, the NFL, they're going to have their personnel and essentially treat this like a helmet to helmet tackle in terms of fines, suspensions, stuff of that nature. That's how this is going to be treated. You hip swivel and weigh yourself down on a guy's legs, you're going to get a 15-yard penalty, and you're probably going to get fined. And if it's severe enough, if it's intentional, up to suspensions. I know there was a lot of polarizing viewpoints on this rule. A lot of high-profile guys did not like it, including some quarterbacks. I saw RG3 tweeted out earlier. I forget exactly what he tweeted, but if you follow RG3's Twitter, he's pretty active, and he's actually pretty entertaining and engaging. I like him a lot. But J.J. Watt speaking out on it. I can't recall a few other guys off the top of my head, but a lot of polarizing viewpoints on this rule. And I know fans hate it. I know fans absolutely hate it. And I understand why. You're taking another element out of the game from the defensive side of the ball. You're making it that much harder to play defense. And you're potentially making it, like I said, another thing to officiate and another thing to slow the game down and analyze and pick. And essentially they're saying, throw flags on these guys already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what J.J. Watt said. Can we just fast forward to the part where we throw flags on these guys? I believe he said something to that effect. Yeah. So once I looked into it, I'm like, okay, I get why they made the rule. Did they have to make the rule? I don't think so. It's a play that doesn't happen too often. Even though, like I said, you're 25 times more likely to suffer a leg injury when that swivel maneuver is used. I don't know. There's just not enough volume of that type of play in the NFL. Like there was the helmet to helmet. There was a shit ton of helmet to helmet contact. I mean, we talk about the 2010 Steelers all the time. Look at how many times they got fined for helmet to helmet contact. Going back even further than that, you go back to the aughts, that was all too commonplace because it was legal. Because it was legal. And then all of a sudden we learn about the effects of CTE and, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I don't think it was necessary. I'm not a huge fan of it. I get why it happened. And it usually takes a high-profile guy getting hurt because of it to make a rule like this. In a typical NFL fashion, they took a reactive approach.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Ultimately, it's out of my control.
Yeah.
But, I can come on here and spout my shit, and I'm going to spout my shit, and that I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Right. And I don't think anybody – well, I definitely don't like it because you're just taking pieces from the game.
Yes.
And even if they're beneficial, people are going to bitch. And that's just how it is. They bitch. They're always going to bitch. And
yes.
It's just interesting, though, and I saw the tweets you were talking about, too, and the reaction. It's just funny how offensive players are the ones saying it. It's not just all defense. So it's kind of like, okay, these guys probably could have got this injury if they're still playing or if they're not playing anymore. And they're saying they don't want to take it out. I don't know, Trevor. It's all it's turned into a corporation, which the NFL has always been a corporation, but now it's just really kind of, hey, I've invested so-and-so amount of money. Well, then don't give all these big mega fucking deals then. I mean, there's another idea we could do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a couple of guys with a lot of money bitching and changing rules. That's how it is. But yeah, I don't know if you said it or not, but yeah, that'll be treated as it'll have its own penalty name now, hip drop tackle, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. So if you see that, don't lose your shit. The rule just happened yesterday. So next season, I know it's going to be growing pains for people. What the fuck's a hip drop tackle? What are we doing?
It's the same thing as roughing the passer. That's going to be a growing pain. Honestly, it was the same thing with the helmet to helmet for a while until.
Right.
And thankfully, we've gotten used to that, and that's a lot less commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll be the same with this. It'll be the same with roughing the passer. It's about protecting the players, protecting your investments. And honestly, it's about with the kickoff change combined with this, it's about the offense. People want to see offense. That's just how it is. Scoring's gone down in the NFL the last 3 years. That's the NFL does not like to see that, especially when its most high-powered of offenses, the Kansas City Chiefs, is largely relying on their defense and more of a complete style of football. So, I mean, I would expect scoring to go up as a result of both of these because the kickoffs that's gonna lead to I think one study said projected 3 to 5 yards more of starting field position. And then, of course, the hip drop tackle, more penalty yardage, especially in this first initial year, players getting used to it and honestly just learning how to tackle again. I feel like they just did it with this roughing the passer stuff. You basically have to do. I don't know if you've seen that Kevin Hart segment where I forget what show he did it on. And maybe I'll send you the clip afterward. But basically, and Kevin Hart, funny guy. I like him a lot. He might be part of the Illuminati, but that's a whole different conversation for another time. But anyway, pretty funny guy. Got on an ESPN show and basically was tucked into bed as a passer. It was actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'll forward you that clip after the fact, and maybe you can repost it on the Buckle Up with the Boys Instagram. Which, by the way, if you're not following that, go follow it now.
Yes. I got to post more on there.
You do. You do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love your previews for this and the Eminem and the Rage Against the Machine.
Right.
And all that stuff, but we need content, Billy.
Yeah,
come on,
we need to get on there. But no, we're gonna put that on there, and I think we'll work it out. But the other thing too is Major Baseball star Trevor has this segment here because I think he has more following into it. I watched the presser yesterday, but I've just heard from passing from other guys that we talked with in the PlayStation party. What's going on with Shohei Ohtani?
Before we talk about that, let's backtrack to one other rule change. One of the big ones that the challenges. To see if you have any thoughts on that. I don't know if you saw that one.
No.
Basically, oh, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the rule now is you only have to get one of your first 2 challenges right to get a third challenge. Before, you had to get both of them right to get a third challenge. Now you only have to get one right, and you automatically get a third challenge.
I like that. I don't see anybody bitching about that.
And you'll like this even more. The Lions were the ones that proposed that. So Lions making a nice little difference.
Dan Campbell, I love you. I
yes.
love him.
a lot of people do. A lot of people like his kneecap biting, chewing.
Yeah.
I'd go on, but I didn't think of anything for Dan Campbell.
No,
he's just a goon, and he's a lovable goon, and he's doing a lot for the city of Detroit right now.
Oh, yes.
It's funny what happens to crime rates, Drew Billy, when your football team's actually good again.
Right. That's the other piece to it too. He's really just a good down blue collar guy that I just enjoy. He's no bullshit. Mm-hmm. Just put the work in, and wow, he gets I could see that he was a major part in that. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Non-Steeler, I really enjoy him the most.
Oh, yes, very much.
Yeah.
Yep, he's in the NFC. He's good. He's good. He's not going to bug us.
No, but
yeah. No, that was the other one. I think.
Yeah.
I think that was the only other one that was. That was the other big one.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about Steelers real quick?
Well, Captain Insano, I don't know if he's still in here. We appreciate you, Brad. But the Cordell Patterson signing, did not even know of it. Trevor told me right before we came on. I kind of shit my pants, and I'm excited as hell. The con man keeps making these steals, man. I don't know. I'm not used to this. We're used to Colbert, just stone-faced Colbert, sitting there on draft. Okay, we got these picks. We got these many picks. We're gonna do this. If someone falls
we got 1 pick and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're not gonna trade. We're not gonna move. Not the con man. I got Cordero. Cordero probably past his prime a little bit, but like I was talking to you, immediate reaction. Does this open up our special teams with the rule changes? I hope, because Steelers have obviously needed help in the return department over these last several seasons. Even though we've been good on the other side of the ball, a la Miles Killebrew and of course Chris Boswell. If it's within 60, he's probably going to make it. Yeah. It still, needs some help with the punting. Hopefully that Bill Burr looking guy will help us out. But as far as kickoff and punt returns go, hopefully that opens it up a little bit. Another kind of weird veteran temporary signing. I don't know. Immediate reaction is, we'll see. We'll see. Can't get much worse. I mean, geez, it wasn't too long ago, we had Ryan Switzer back there. I don't know if you remember him.
Yes, God bless him. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but Gunnar Olszewski.
Gunnar.
You can't get any worse than that. So, welcome to the team, Patterson. Welcome to the team, my friend. I hope you have enough brain cells not to do a fucking fair cat. Jesus.
Catch it inbounds and then run out of bounds and then be like, what?
God. Oh my God.
Dude, you caught it. You toe tapped a kickoff.
What?
That was, I lost my mind. A few plays that I saw last season, especially with the Steelers, that were that stupid. That's up there.
God damn it.
But anyway, figured I'd just get your immediate reaction to that before moving on here.
Yeah, I knew about Quez Watkins. I think that was a good signing as well. I think that's a sneaky slot guy. I believe he does. That's his forte. Bring him on. It can't be any worse than, hey, we got Allen Robinson the third. He's the shit. No, he's not. We know he's not. Then he did nothing last season. And now he's off the team. So I think this Watkins, I like him. I've watched a little snippet of his highlights. Not big numbers last season, but that's okay. I'm excited to see what he can bring. It's just another weapon.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a volume pass catcher, and he doesn't need to be in what's going to be Arthur Smith's run-centric offense. I know I keep saying this over and over and over, run-centric offense. That's what it's going to be. You know, we got Warren and Najee in the backfield. That's what we're going to work with. And who knows, we might throw Cordero in there on a third down or two. Or if he's just going to be a return specialist, I'm honestly okay with that too. I didn't see the deal we got him on. I'd have to actually look at the numbers to see how valuable it was. I know he's a veteran, so probably a decent bit. But what were you saying? Quez Watkins. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that either.
No. I think they'll treat Patterson as a gadget player.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
That's what he is. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Like you said, better than Gunner. He's going to be better than Gunner.
I don't know what week.
I know that's not a high bar, but he's going to be better than Gunner.
Right. I don't know what week it was. But you for the people out there that enjoy this show, go back to when me and Nate and Trevor were on here the week after that fucking play and how we just shred him. That my blood pressure hasn't been that high on this show in a long time.
Pretty sure we spent a solid 20 minutes just talking about Gunnar Olszewski and maybe the Steeler game as a whole. But thankfully, he's not with us anymore. Not on the Steelers.
He's probably he's probably a nice guy, but God damn it, when he was wearing the yellow and black,
I don't doubt that he's a nice fella, but
just
maybe a nice guy to have a beer or two with, but not a nice guy to have running gadget plays and kickoff return in the NFL anyway.
No, not the guy. But anyway, sorry, Trevor. I just fucking went on a little.
No, you're good. You're good. I brought up returners of past Steelers. Last 10 years have been kind of rough for that. So
yes. Yeah.
Hopefully Cordero and with the help of Calvin change that.
Yes.
That'd be ideal. I tell you what, DB, do you want me to do more NFL stuff and then move on to the Shohei stuff right before what's more likely?
Yeah,
that we want to do.
Yeah, I can, and I got a couple things too. I'll let you go, sure. and then or I can go. It doesn't really matter. I was looking through the off season here. Yeah, looking at some guys that I felt the team actually put things in front of them that could help their career blossom more, or just add-ons to actually help the goddamn team. And I think number one on this list, Trevor, from the acquisitions that we've seen, Will Levis is number one on this list. And the reason is because they've added, they're focusing on, but they bring in the former Cincinnati Bengals offense coordinator, which I think he's more of a pass circuit guy, different from Vrabel as head coach. I think that's a major piece in this. And then also they get rid of, and no offense to Derrick Henry, but Tyjae Spears, Spears, right? Tyjae
Spears. Yep.
I feel he's more of a more lucid of a guy that can help him more in the backfield than Derrick did. That's no offense to Derrick Henry, but I just feel that what Levis had, and they also added Calvin Ridley to the team as well. So I don't know. Do you agree with that, or?
Yeah, just so I'm understanding what this list is about. This is essentially like guys that have benefited the most from off-season acquisitions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So potentially some breakout candidates involved in this as well. Yeah. No, I like I said, I've always liked Will Levis. I knew he was the most pro-ready coming out of his class. Yeah. And now he's going to have a chance to, run it with his own team, run it with his own mold, essentially. I mean, obviously he came in during Vrabel's tail end, and that was a very run-centric style. Like you said, they brought in that Callahan, who's more of a pass guru. It's going to be good for them. It's going to be good for them. And I know Tennessee welcomed Calvin Ridley with open arms. I believe I saw a little interview he did, an opening presser with the Titans, got a little emotional about it, because he was away from football for a little bit due to the gambling stuff. So, no, that's phenomenal to see. I don't know if I would put Will Levis number one quite yet. I think Tajay Spears needs to develop a little bit more to become essentially the focal point of that offense. And we need to see improvements on that offensive line. I know they have some veterans that they need to cycle out of there. So, yeah. No, I like the pick though. I like that.
And then number 2, Drake London.
Yeah.
And the reason is, and again, Trevor and Nate are better with stats, but I actually dug a little bit. He actually set the team's record for most receptions in a year. And I know,
really?
Okay, so in his first 2 seasons. So as that progresses, you're doing that with Desmond Ridder, and who the hell did they have? Marcus Mariota. So you had Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder.
Mariota, Heineke, they cycled in there, yeah.
So you could do those numbers with 3. I don't want to say bad quarterbacks, but average, and then
inconsistent, like a rotation at the starting position. We don't want that.
So and then you bring in Kirk Cousins. I think he is going to fucking light it up next year. I really do. I think Kyle Pitts is going to benefit from that, but I picked Drake London because of the record for the most receptions.
Yeah, and I misspoke when I said Taylor Heineke. He's only showing up just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's one of the Falcons' off-season acquisitions. I'm trying to look up what number Kirk Cousins is going to wear. Because is he going to wear number 8? I know that was a big debate.
Okay.
So apparently, rumor was floating around, and I think there was some social media posts supporting this, that Kyle Pitts, all he wanted in exchange for the number 8, Kirk Cousins, number 8, was targets. And Kirk chose number 18. So I like your Drake London pick.
Yeah. But he got,
by default, I like it. By default.
Yeah, but I think he got Hawkinson involved. I mean, that's how Hawkinson got that major. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't.
No, I know.
Yeah, I think. But Drake London for sure. Who else here? Gus Edwards. Another what the fuck kind of name. Not a lot of people know him. But bringing what the fuck's his name? I always get. It's a John. Yeah. John Harbaugh, or is it Jim? That's George.
No, Jim's with the Chargers. John's with the Ravens.
Yeah, so bringing in Jim, I think Gus Edwards' stats are going to go up, and it's also going to benefit Justin Herbert. But Harbaugh is a run-centric kind of guy, so I think as well Gus Edwards benefited from their offseason signing with bringing in Harbaugh.
Well, you got to look at the facts too. Their top 2 pass catchers left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike Williams signing a deal with the Jets. Keenan Allen going and signing with the Bears.
Right.
And with the style of ball that Harbaugh likes to coach, with Blake Corum and J.J. McCarthy and the boys down there, hell, won him a national championship. And he has a winning philosophy. He knows how to turn programs around, and hopefully he can finally turn the Chargers' fortunes around. Chargers have been a good team for the last several seasons. They just had shit luck in the playoffs, or whether it was with injuries. Or the Chargers are one of the most unlucky teams that no one talks about how unlucky they are.
Right.
I mean, a lot of it they do bring on themselves, but yeah, in terms of Gus Edwards, he's probably going to be RB1, with Eckler leaving as well. So, I could see that. He's probably going to get a bulk of, probably not a bulk of the touches, but he's going to get most of the touches at the running back position at the very least. Then we'll see how the Chargers are able to adapt their offense without their top 2 pass catchers, or if they're going to go wide receiver in the draft. That's that's something that's floating out there too.
Right. And I only did 4, Trevor, because I took out I took out 4 and 5, but I put on a 4th guy, and he's one of our own. And
Okay.
George Pickens, I think greatly benefited from this offseason because he has actually 2 good quarterbacks could actually throw him the goddamn ball, and we'll look for him on the field. And Deontay's departure, he's, I think, number 1 now. Is that even a question?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I don't think it is. Yeah. Yeah. My only concern is how much is he going to get double teamed and how much are we going to have to throw to our secondary guys, and how much of the target share is not going to be downfield where George Pickens likes it.
Okay.
He thrives on that type of stuff, especially, the stuff that gets him into space and even the one-on-one stuff in the boundary. He's equally proficient at both, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that.
No.
Here's the thing. If I'm a fantasy manager, I'm very hesitant to draft any Steelers receivers at this point.
Okay.
Because obviously Pickens was a big breakout candidate last year. Didn't live fully up to the hype. Still did well, but did not live fully up to the hype that a lot of people wanted him to live up to. That on top of just the overall lack of production at the quarterback position, we'll see how that changes this year. We'll see how that changes. But in terms of, like I said, they're going to have a run first philosophy. It's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd toss him that high.
Okay.
I don't think I would toss him that high.
Okay. That's all right. No. But I'm trying to think. Oh, we're going to go over your shit, and then I gotta give me a finger wave for the draft picks, so we can get the proper intro in for that.
Yes, yeah, we actually rehearsed and did a little intro right before the show here, so hopefully the viewers like it rather than the improv. What felt like, I don't know, like organ music these past couple weeks or whatever the hell, techno, whatever the hell it was. But yeah, no, we'll get to that. But one guy I did want to. Oh crap! Who did I want to bring up? I just thought of him right before the show. I'm probably going to spout his name out. The guy that kind of benefited from a nice offseason as well. I can't remember. Trying to think. I can't remember. But anyway,
okay.
Moving on. We'll move on. I don't have any other NFL stuff before I talk about my draft picks. Do you have anything else before I talk about the draft picks?
No. So as we go in here, folks, to you beautiful people, we have a very special segment here. It's Dinsy's Draft Picks. And if you haven't been following the episodes prior to this, Trevor gives you great insight on what's going on. And I think it's only proper that we bring in a beautiful intro for Dinsy's Draft Picks with Trevor Dinsmore.
I like it. I'm more of a country music fan than a generic rock type of a fan, but I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless.
Morgan Wallen's coming on next week, I promise.
No, you're good, bud. You're good. I kind of surprised you with it this week, but hey, we're making progress. We had it planned this week. We executed. Oh yeah. We can execute better. Don't get me wrong, but we executed. We did just fine.
Yes, we
did just fine.
Yeah.
So this week, I want to talk about a couple interesting positions that normally don't get talked about around this time of year, at least not some high-profile guys. And it's one of them is actually a position that I neglected, quote-unquote neglected, a couple weeks back because I was too busy talking about the offensive tackles and the plethora of talent that's at that position this year. So this week, I want to talk about guards and I want to talk about tight ends. And I know what a lot of people are already thinking in advance for the tight end spot. I'm going to get into that, but you're mostly right. I'll just warn you in advance right now. But I'll talk to you real quick about some of the guards that I saw out there. And there weren't a ton, a lot of tackles coming out, a lot of centers coming out, not a whole lot in terms of guard play. But a few guys I wanted to draw y'all's attention to. Troy Fautanu.
Okay.
All these guys, they recruit these guys from like Hawaii and Samoa, and I can never pronounce their names. It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame because they deserve to get their names pronounced right. They're candidates for the NFL draft. At the very least, the least they can do is pronounce your name right. But anyway, Troy Fautanu out of Washington, first ranked at the guard position, 27th overall, received a draft grade of 89, and decent sized guy here too, 6'4", 317, ran a 5.01 40, not bad for a guard.
Yeah.
32.5-inch vertical and a 9-foot 5-inch broad jump. So decently athletic for a big guy. And this guy, there's a reason he's the top prospect. A lot of people are comparing him to the Jets' Elijah Vera Tucker. So some decently high praise coming from NFL scouts and executives alike. But anyway, the reason they like this guy, he's a very firm blocker. He's very good at the point of attack. And he stands his ground, too, against bull rushes, which is essential in the modern game because you got bull rushers out the wazoo at defensive tackle and at defensive end. So you got to be able to guard. You got to be able to guard against that. And something that coaches don't have to work on with this guy is his hand fighting. That's usually a pretty coachable trait, but that's one thing you don't have to coach with this guy. He's pretty good at that. I will say, though, he doesn't have a whole lot of extension. His wingspan isn't as long as you'd like it to be against long-armed pass rushers in the NFL. Your Aaron Donalds. Yeah. Long-armed guys that can get extension and get leverage on you just through pure grit and strength. But, again, his lower body strength kind of makes up for that. That extension part, that's kind of where he struggles. And sometimes he oversets the edge and lets guys come around into the inside. That's an occasional thing I saw in his game film. But otherwise, there's a reason he's the top prospect in the draft. He was protecting Heisman candidate Michael Penix this past season and almost won a national championship, and he was a big part of that. So I got to give him his props for that. And I'm going to go straight down the top five with the guards here because I don't. It was a pretty top heavy position this year. Yeah. And like I said, there weren't a whole lot of prospects out there to be drafted specifically at the guard position. A lot of it was hybrid tackles, centers, and guys that can maybe plug in at guard if they need to. So anyway, moving down the line here, and y'all know I love to talk about my Big Ten boys here. Yes. Zach Zinter from Michigan. Second ranked at his position, 61st overall, so a day two guy. 81 overall draft grade, and this guy is a big boy, 6'6", 322. I would not want to run into him at a bar or anything like that, nor would I ever want to piss this guy off because, he played offensive line at Michigan. So,
right.
But anyway, more on this guy. Described as having broad and thick hips, which enables his lower body strength and enables him to get leverage through the blocks. Mm-hmm. And he's also able to reset his hands very quickly. He's able to mirror pass rushers, and he's equally proficient in the run game. You had to be at Michigan, right? You had to be able to get to the second level, and you had to be able to get those running plays downfield. That's why Corum was ripping off 8 yards at a clip in playoff games. So part of the reason was this Zinter fella right here. So one of the knocks on him, though, is his recovery ability. When he's beaten, tends to run out of gas and tends not to recover and give a second effort. That was, he didn't have to give a whole lot of second efforts while he was at Michigan. But again, dissecting the game film in the few times that did happen where he did get beat, had a little bit of trouble recovering and, enabling that secondary block. And big concern here, too, coming off a broken, I want to get this right, tibia and fibula. I don't know what bones those are, but I know they're pretty essential to your legs. Pretty essential to leg strength, and legs are essential to offensive linemen due to leverage. So another player comp for this guy, Robert Hunt out of Miami. I'm not too familiar with his work, but that was the comp that was thrown out there for him. Then moving on down the list here, Christian Haynes out of UConn received a 75 overall draft grade, projected to go 80th. Stands at 6'2", 313, so slightly undersized for his position, but still decently athletic. Ran 5.03.40. Bench press 25 reps at 225 pounds. Not bad at all. That's about 21 more reps than I can do at 225 pounds, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. 33-inch vertical, not too long in the broad jump, only 8 feet 6 inches, and a 1.75 second split on that 40 time, at 10 seconds, I should say. So got a little bit quick out of the blocks, but ran out of steam toward the very end of that 40 run. So big thing with this guy, he has 4 years of starting experience, so he knows what he's doing. He's firmly entrenched in who he is and what he's all about as a guard. And, he knows techniques. He knows he's done this over and over again, knows the muscle memory aspect of the game for sure. And he's very smart, takes the right angle to the pass rushers and to the run rushers especially when he has to pull, the classic pulling guard. This guy can do that. I can assure you that. Very active hands and very active feet as well. Has a high motor. But like I said, slightly undersized. Needs to improve on his blocking range a little bit, especially his lateral movement, be able to fill in gaps where necessary. But once he gets a hold of you, he does pretty well for himself. But yeah. Moving on down the list here, Javion Cohen out of Miami, 4th ranked at the position. Received a draft grade of 71, and he's 96th ranked overall. So a lot of these guys, day 2 guys, maybe day 3. This guy, tall guy, 6'4", 305. And, he went to Alabama before he ended up in Miami in 2023. So he learned under Nick Saban for a little bit. He knows what he's doing. He did show a little bit more of an agile archetype while he was at Bama. Showed more of a take on the bull rush and engage with guys. And once I got a hold of you, I'm not letting go of you type of archetype, whatever you want to call that. I'd say more of a power blocker while he was at Miami. So there's some concern as to where he's going to fit. But still, he usually has pretty good play recognition at the very least, has a good amount of starting experience. And is a decent value for as late as he's going to go in the draft. So I was unable to find a player comp for this particular person, unfortunately. Same thing with Christian Haynes. I couldn't really find a name that really rung a bell with a lot of people in terms of player comps. Which, again, with Cohen, like I said, he kind of transitioned archetypes between Alabama in 2022 and Miami in 2023. So, a little weird trying to find a player comp for him.
Right.
Last guy I want to talk about, and a guy that I think is a bit underrated because of the program he went to, but I still think he has a decently high ceiling as an NFL guard. Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State.
Ooh.
No, I don't believe there's any relation to Don Beebe from the.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't think there's any relation there. I didn't verify that, but it didn't come up in his profile. So I'm guessing that's not the case. So anyway, this guy, overall rank is 106th. So again, another day 2, day 3 fringe type of a guy. Received a draft grade of 69, which, is everyone's favorite.
That's a pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice draft grade. Quite frankly, I think that's a better draft grade than 71. Just because of the number.
I'm not a math guy, but that sounds right. Yes.
Yes, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you were thinking otherwise watching at home, you were lying to yourself, and you would be lying to us if you were speaking to us. So
yes.
Don't criticize us for being immature when you were doing the same thing in your mind. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But anyway, Cooper Beebe stands at 6'4", 335, big guy, very big guy, but very athletic, ran a 5.03.40. Needs to improve on the strength a little bit. Only pounded 20 reps on the bench press at 225. 27.5-inch vertical, 9 feet 1 inches on the broad jump, and ran the 3-cone in 7.5 seconds. Ran the 20. What was it? The 20. The 20-yard shuttle. That's what it's called. I always forget what. I label these things in acronyms, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to remember what this stands for and what it means."
Right.
And then I get on the show and I'm like, "What?" Anyway, but again, he was the only guy that I evaluated that ran the 20-yard shuttle. So,
wow.
Anyway, big thing with this guy is what scouts are calling his density. His density and his frame is ideal for that of an NFL guard. Good at kick-out blocking and, good at being the pulling guard on those counter and sweep type of run plays. And he's very wide, has a nice wide base, and is able to catch guys as they're coming through that frame of his. Typical problem we see with a few of these guys, a little short on the arms, doesn't have enough extension to take on those long-armed pass rushers. But, otherwise, I think this guy's a really good prospect for where he's listed in the draft. And player comp for this guy, you might remember his name. He just signed a nice little contract with the Lions, guy by the name of Kevin Zeitler.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're throwing comparisons around to longtime guard Kevin Zeitler.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, especially for a midday 2 guy like that.
Right.
I don't mind that at all. And that's why, in terms of getting the most bang for your buck, I got to take Cooper Beebe. But in terms of just a pure, unadulterated prospect at the guard position, you got to go Troy Fautanu.
Troy Fautanu.
Fautanu. I can't even spell it right.
Troy Fautanu. Okay.
Fautanu.
Okay.
I promise I'll try and get these tight ends names right.
Well, I don't really feel bad for the guy because half my goddamn life, Trevor, I was called Bile. So
Bile. Oh, yeah. I mean, some people call me Terry, so I know how it is.
So Troy Fautanu.
Yes,
I understand.
First time. Got it. Yeah, no, he's good. I'm pretty sure we're the only ones that mispronounce his name, but it is what it is. At least in this public of a forum.
Yeah, ESPN has AI. That's how they don't fuck things up. But anyways,
that is true.
Oh God! But no,
you had me in the front half. I don't know about the back half of that argument. They screw a lot of things up. I'll just say.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. I think we're gonna have better coverage than ESPN for draft night. So.
Yeah,
what it is, but no, yeah,
they're gonna have. They have all the money. They have all the production value. They have all the big names. That's just the way it is.
Well, I heard Trevor Dinsmore was the next Mel Kiper, but I must be
mistaken. I don't want that slick back hair. I don't.
No. You're analyzing how you can analyze
analytically. Yeah. I mean, granted, I'm not like I said last week. I'm not going on national television and arguing with an Ursay, but I'm doing okay for myself.
Well,
hey, I'm not done. Put the Chiron back on. I'm not done. I'm not done. I got tight ends to talk about, bud.
Oh, I thought we were just doing guards. Okay, sorry.
No. Guards, and you think I'm just going to leave it at 5 prospects this week? Come on, man.
I was worried. Yep.
No, okay. Why are you worried? Don't be worried. Jeez, man. Anyway.
Yeah.
I had to take a sip of my ginger beer there. From BJ's, by the way.
Very nice.
BJ's Restaurant Brew House, right here in Pittsburgh.
God bless them. Good people.
I'll take my royalty check in the mail. Thank you very much.
Yep.
But anyway, and I know we're all thinking for the tight end spot. It's Brock Bowers and then everyone else. And that is true. That is absolutely true. It is Brock Bowers. And it is everyone else. Brock Bowers, 10th ranked overall. So could go early day 1. Could be a top 10 pick at tight end. if you're doing a fantasy draft of just rookies, you might want to draft this guy at your tight end spot. That's all I'm saying. Draft grade of 92, stands at 6'3", 243. Didn't do anything in the combine. Didn't have to. The film speaks for itself. The only guy to win the Mackey 2 years in a row, although I think I have my own opinions on who should have won the 22 Mackey.
Right.
That aside, what is what is, and Brock Bowers won the Mackey 2 years in a row. Only guy to do that since the award's inception in 2000.
Wow.
If you haven't watched this guy, I feel bad for you. I really do. All-around talent and the best vertical threat at the tight end spot in the college football game. And that's going to translate well, I would think, to the NFL game. That's what a lot of NFL teams are looking for. They're essentially looking for a wide tight end in that, they can throw him in the slot, and he can thrive vertically. He can thrive, especially you get this guy the ball in open space. I mean, you saw it while he was at Georgia.
Oh, special.
Oh, yeah. Anytime he got the ball in open space, you're like, okay, how far is he going to run now? Because, not only is he quick, he's quick. He can also bull you over if he needs to. He's pretty damn strong.
What's his height? What's his height and weight, Trevor?
6'3", 243.
I mean, when you see him playing, it's like he's 6'6". Like
he looks taller. He looks taller, and honestly, he looks thinner than he actually is. Yeah. But it's all muscle. Yeah. It is all muscle. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Yeah. Far and away, Brock Bowers, top tight end prospect. And yeah, I'll give you it right now. He's my pick, most bang for your buck pick at the tight end spot. Even though, could he be drafted a little too high? Maybe. But his ceiling is just so immensely high in the modern game. It's not even funny. Mm-hmm. It's not even funny. I think he's going to do really well in the NFL. Depends where he lands. Depends if he's the right fit for the right system. But, hopefully he's able to get into a good system where he's just integrated seamlessly. And we saw what he can do at Georgia. And when, people are comparing you to George Kittle,
doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing okay for yourself. You're doing okay for yourself. But on to a few of the other prospects I want to talk about.
Yep.
Beyond Brock Bowers, I know, Brock Bowers versus and everybody else. That's basically what this is. Because the next guy down on the list is Theo Johnson out of Penn State. And this is not a knock on Theo Johnson. Brock Bowers is just that damn good. That's just how it is. But anyway, to the next tight end on the board, you have to go down to the 64th overall ranked prospect in this year's draft. So likely a day 2 guy, mid day 2, potentially falling into the 3rd round. Okay. So, but anyway, Theo Johnson received a draft grade of 80, stands at 6'6", 259. Ran a 4.57 40, not too bad. 39.5-inch vertical. Did 10 feet 5 inches on the broad jump, and on the 3 cones 7.1 seconds, and then on the 20-yard shuttle 4.19. So Theo, bit more of a blocking tight end, more of an inline type of tight end that you run out of like I formations and strong formations, more your pro style tight end. Good size and frame relative to his peers, is able to block. So, he can do just fine. And he's a proficient route runner relative to his peers, other than Brock Bowers, obviously. But, that's, again, he does need to develop, strength at the point of attack. And he's not very much of a run after the catch type of player, more of a possession type of tight end, is able to haul in catches in traffic for sure. Kind of a prototypical red zone target was kind of his role at Penn State. A lot of flat routes, a lot of underneath stuff, and a reliable target, but, not really able to stretch the field too much vertically, and he needs to improve in the run game if he wants to improve his versatility and his overall position as an NFL tight end. People throwing around comparisons to Cole Kmet of the Bears, which, Cole Kmet doing just fine for himself as well.
Right.
He knows his role and he plays it exceptionally well. And, his touchdowns are starting to actually come around. So, yeah. And hopefully they keep going up, and up with Caleb Williams probably going first overall. But, of course, I love to talk about my Big Ten prospects. I'm going to talk about another one, Cade Stover. And in terms of a ceiling at tight end coming out of this draft, Cade Stover is probably right below Brock Bowers. This guy, 79th ranked overall, so a little bit lower. 78 draft grade. Stands at 6'4", 247. Ran a 4.65 40, 34.5-inch vertical and 9 feet 9 inches on the broad jump. Excuse me. But this guy he gets a lot of credit for his versatility and his crisp route running. He showed that quite a bit when he was at Ohio State. And trust me, I saw it firsthand as Penn State got throttled by Ohio State a couple times. This guy burned us pretty heavily. I will just say that. Not as heavily as some other guys did, but, when he showed up big time. And, he made a lot of big catches. So that's just the way it is. But anyway, good hands, good zone blocking schematically, and he has excellent footwork as the route develops. As he, runs his route, he's able to consistently go stride for stride for stride. Does pretty well with that. Needs to develop some acceleration off the line, judging by his 40 time, not too fast of a tight end, but still, pretty reliable, I would imagine. Not too great at the point of attack when it comes to blocking, is able to sustain blocks, but doesn't get a whole lot of leverage on like outside rushers and rushing cornerbacks and rushers of that nature. But otherwise I like this prospect. If you're looking for a pretty versatile inline tight end, I think Cade Stover, pretty good one for you, especially if you're running like a pro style offense where he's just going to be running a lot of space routes, underneath routes. I think he's a pretty reliable guy for you there. People throwing around comparisons to Jake Ferguson of the Dallas Cowboys. And Jake Ferguson, of course, Jake Ferguson is in a pass-heavy system. He's in the right system to thrive, and he is thriving as we speak. So not bad at all. Moving on down the list here, we got Jatavion Sanders out of Texas. He's 100 ranked overall, fourth at the position. Received a draft grade of 73, stands at 6'4", 245, and ran a 4.69 40. Coming out of Texas, I got to adjust my Excel sheet here, get all my notes in the right cell. But anyway, this guy more of a vertical tight end, and, good from that, whether he's in line or playing as a wide tight end in the slot, he can get vertical and stretch the field north and south for you. Very high volume pass catcher and has a pretty high ceiling, more as a pass catcher than as a blocker. So not quite as versatile, but still, can fill in where needed in terms of the run blocking. But he's more of a Freiermuth type, stretch the field vertically, get to the center of the field and, get in space type of a tight end. A lot of people throwing comparisons to David Njoku for this guy. So again, you find the right fit and you're used well enough. Like David Njoku is, we see how he's come into his own, and Njoku in his own right, more of a vertical type of tight end. So makes a lot of sense. Then another guy moving on down out of Arizona, also received a draft grade of 69. I like talking about guys with draft grades of 69. I know it's technically, if you go by the elementary school scale or the middle high school scale, I guess 69 is a failing grade, but 69 is an NFL prospect.
Not bad.
You're doing okay. I think you're doing okay for yourself. Anyway, Tanner McLaughlin out of Arizona stands at 6'5", 244, so pretty tall. Ran a 4.61 40, 35-inch vertical, 9 feet 9 inches on the broad jump. And this guy, he's a high motor guy, and he's a yak yards guy, gobbles up targets and is able to get into space. And he's also proficient in blocking, has very active hands, and is able to zone block as well as man block. Fits schematically pretty well into either of those types of sets. So big knock on him is his lack of strength for his size as well as his short arms. We talked about it with the guards. A lot of those guys have short arms, are not able to get as much extension as their compatriot rushers are. So that could be a knock on him. Player comp for this guy, Grant Calcaterra for the Eagles. He's their backup tight end, obviously behind Douglas Goddard. So again, much more of a blocking game type of tight end, but still is able to get into space where necessary. Who else do I got here? I got a few other guys. Tip Riemann out of Illinois, another Big Ten prospect. I love my Big Ten prospects.
Yes.
Can you tell I'm a little bit biased toward the Big Ten?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's bias as much as it just is the natural cycle of things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A lot of guys come out of the Big Ten and thrive in the NFL. That's just how we have one of those ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come in.
But anyway, and I love this guy's name too. Tip Riemann out of Illinois. Stands at 6'5", 271. So big guy. Big, tall, blocking tight end that you'd normally associate, say, with your mid-aughts Steelers, like your Matt Spaeths of the world.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Big blocking type of tight end, which is why he's been thrown around. Comparisons to Daniel Bellinger for the Giants. Again, their backup tight end mostly utilized in blocking in run sets. Obviously, Bellinger not going to be blocking for Saquon anymore, but it is what it is. And, Bellinger, much like Riemann, could supplement the offensive line very well in stretch type of runs, off tackle type of runs, and is equally proficient in the pass blocking, can, chip and hedge guys where needed. And he's described as nasty at the point of attack. When you're throwing around the word nasty, when it comes to blocking tight ends, yes, it's niche, sure, but in a run-centric offense, much like maybe the Steelers, find a place in the NFL. Yes, you could carve out a nice little career for yourself. Going to be much more of a goon type, but, we appreciate our goons nonetheless.
Yes, we do.
So, yeah. Anyway, the big knock on him, needs to work on the hand fighting, needs to work on the hand placement, as well as blocking in space. He's good in set plays that just go right down your throat, but needs to, learn how to get to the second level and block one-on-one in space down the field. So another guy I want to talk about real quick, then I think that'll about wrap it up for tight ends. Rounding out actually the top 10, 10th ranked at his position is Jaheim Bell out of FSU, Seminole, which, big Notre Dame fan here. A little bit of history with the Seminoles. I don't like talking about Seminoles, but I wanted to bring this guy up too because he's a prospect that kind of intrigued me. And he, for whatever reason, slipping down draft boards a little bit. Right. But, it is what it is. Received a draft grade of 58. Stands at 6'2", 241. So slightly on the shorter side if you're going by tight end standards. Ran a 4.6 140, a 35-inch vertical, 10 feet 4 inches on the broad jump. And this guy, for relative to his spot as a prospect in the NFL draft, stretches the field before and after the catch. So he's able to, stretch the field laterally. He's able to run routes really well and just get guys out of their place and able to get in space. But anyway, he creates first downs with acceleration as well as catches in space. A good rack guy. If, you need an extra few yards, he's able to provide it for you. And he can play all over the field, whether he's an inline tight end or a wide tight end in the slot. He's able to do that for you. A lot of people throwing around comparisons to Evan Ingram for this particular prospect. And I don't know, I like Evan Ingram a lot.
Yep.
Evan Ingram, volume pass catcher. And again, runs those crossing and dig type of routes, those middle like post routes with a lot of success. And I think Bell has the same potential if he plays his cards right and if he gets into the right system. But a couple knocks on him, not not really a clean fit anywhere in the modern NFL game, other than the Jaguars, ironically enough. And the Jaguars, they don't really need a tight end at this point. But, I think he can find a spot. He's a bit undersized as well. Needs to work on the hip tightness as he's running routes. Sometimes gets a little heavy-footed as a result of that hip tightness and, doesn't always finish his routes. But regardless, I think he has a decently high ceiling as long as he's willing to work on those latter points there. And again, coachable weaknesses. But, for a prospect of his caliber and where he's ranked, I think he has a decently high ceiling.
Okay.
And that's all I got. Like I said, most bang for your buck, even though he is first overall in terms of tight end prospects. And like I said, there's potentially could be drafted too high. I don't really know if you can draft Brock Bowers too high.
No. Yeah. You see any teams doing a weird thing by picking him up, Trevor, instead of a quarterback?
No.
Okay.
No. Quarterbacks always go first. That's right. It's the rule of thumb.
Right.
It's the rule of thumb. You got to build around a quarterback. You need a good quarterback to throw to a good tight end. I mean, we saw how talented Kyle Pitts was, right. And still is. So but you need the right quarterback throwing him the ball. So I don't see anybody switching up necessarily from the quarterback spot to go draft Brock Bowers.
Okay. You see the New York Jets getting him then, because that's what they're projected to do.
Yeah, I saw the Jets potentially projected to get that Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State, that tackle.
Okay.
Kind of sew up that offensive line. Where do they – I'm looking at a CBS one. I'm trying to see where they have Bowers. They have Bowers going to Cincinnati at 18. And this coming from – let me get my source right here. Eric Gallico from CBS Sports just posted this mock draft 7 hours ago.
God, I do not want him in the same fucking shit.
That's kind of the thing. A lot of teams, the tight end, it's a niche position in a lot of schemes. Uh-huh. So it is what it is. Yeah. And the Bengals, they're a team that could use one. They're going to need one, especially, they're probably going to – they're losing T. Higgins. They're going to lose Boyd. So,
yeah, I could see that. No, it's just Steelers always struggle with tight ends. I don't know what the hell it is. Other than Heath, I can't really think of a long-term staple. Right. At that position for us, even back in the 70s, we kind of struggled to find a really a staple at that position for years on years. Like I said, the only guy that comes to mind really is Heath. Yeah.
Hoping Frymuth turns into Heath because we got the Muth at the Steeler games, which I love and just adore being a Penn State and Steelers fan. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we shall see.
But, that was another segment of Dinsy's draft picks. Trevor, what do we got next week for the beautiful people?
Let me pull up my schedule here, and I'll be able to tell you.
Okay.
Something a little bit more exciting. We're starting to get into more of the skill positions. Cornerback. Yes.
It's going to be good. Mm-hmm. You're not going to want to fucking miss it. I'm very excited to see.
I got a lot of work to do for that one, man, because there's 30 prospects out there for this year's draft, so – could be a long segment next week. So
it's all right.
To quote the name of this show, buckle up.
Yep, buckle up. Yeah. No. But a lot of good insight. We're very excited for that night. Multiple guests and Trevor is helping you get ready for that and get your watch parties ready, folks. I'm telling you, it's going to be something you've never fucking seen before in your life. I promise you. It's going to be very entertaining. But Trevor, what do we want to move on next to here, my friend?
I think we've covered all the NFL stuff. I don't really think there are any big acquisitions over this past week.
No.
just, kind of nickel and dime transactions here and there. Steelers getting Cordero, a few others thrown around there. But other than that, nothing pressing on the free agent front since last week. At least nothing that's coming immediately to mind.
Right.
But, of course, I was mostly focused on watching my bracket just absolutely shit on itself. So,
well,
yeah, we'll go over ours here in a minute. Don't worry. We're not immune to the shit show.
Yeah, no, but I do have to say this just to close out the NFL side of things.
Yes.
Omar Khan saying this is one of the best drafts he's seen. So I don't know if that was a drop there that we're going to make a move or what, but I saw his hands start rubbing his hands in that interview, Trevor, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? What?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
getting excited, buddy. Getting excited.
I have butterflies right now. I never thought I think he's a middle-aged, 50-year-old man, bald-headed man would get me butterflies. But God damn it, he just saying that little sentence right there. I'm like, okay, what the fuck?
We gonna move up again?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Omar? What are you doing, bud?
I'm sitting on my lunch. I'm sitting on my lunch break, like, all right, we need to get to April 25th. What the fuck is he talking about here? What is he? So we'll have to wait and see. I think.
Yes, you know how much. Fifth. That means the draft is here, and that means my tax season's over.
Right.
So, yeah, looking forward to that very much so. But I think we can move on to the lone baseball item.
Very, very hot. And I got an interesting side to this, but I think Trevor more on the baseball side. I'm going to be on the collectors around the world shit their pants.
Yes,
Trevor's about to deliver here. So,
yes, yeah, big story coming out of Shohei Ohtani's camp, and this is a story that had a lot of twists, turns, different versions from Ippei Mizuhara, Shohei Ohtani's confidant and longtime translator. Now, and I want to clarify this point as well. A lot of people saying, oh, Shohei speaks English. Agreed, he's much more comfortable and much more, I guess, grammatically correct and verbally. He's a lot better verbally, saying the right words, I guess, in his native language, which is why he uses those translators.
Okay.
Obviously, he has a new one after all this mess, and we saw him. Yeah, we saw him in the presser that the Dodgers put out there a couple days ago, or I think it was maybe even yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, this got put out there. But long story short, Ippei Mizuhara owed, $4.5 million to a bookkeeper due to his gambling debts. And I believe it was originally thrown out there that Ohtani had paid off the debt. And then it was thrown out there that gambled, and then it was thrown out there that Ippei stole the funds and this, that, and the other thing. Turns out, according to Ohtani's testimony, and I trust that Ohtani is a very financially apt person. Well, he was very locked into the Dodgers opening the season and had not heard of this whole ordeal and had not heard of Ippei Mizuhara's gambling issues until after a team meeting in their opener in Korea, which some people might say, oh, he's living under a rock. No, he's playing baseball at the highest level. Leave him be. He's making more money than ever any of us will ever dream of making. And quite frankly, he could end up going down as one of the greatest of all time, and I think he will. Yeah. But anyway, he threw out with his new translator, whose name I did not catch, unfortunately, vehemently denying any wrongdoing in terms of gambling, says he never bet on games or anything like that, and says that Ippei Mizuhara basically flat out told lies when he said Ohtani paid off his debts with Ohtani's consent. Like Ohtani sent the money directly to the bookkeeper, or the bookmaker. Excuse me. Bookkeeper's accounting, bookmaker's gambling. Keep that in mind, folks. There's a difference. But anyway, he vehemently denied ever sending any funds to this bookmaker and ever having any contact with any sort of bookmaker or any wrongdoing whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Denied it all vehemently and repeated it. And the thing that kind of got me over the top with that, and that, he's probably telling the truth here, once he found out about Ippei's issues and the fact that Ippei literally in increments of $500,000 sent money to this bookmaker out of Ohtani's account.
Oh,
yeah. If you didn't catch that little detail, Ohtani literally called law enforcement. He literally called his own lawyers, his own personal counsel, and basically sicked them on Ippei Mizuhara, his longtime friend, confidant, and translator.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't scream, I didn't know about this, and he stole money from me.
Right.
Like I alluded to last night, DB, on PlayStation, he at the very least painted a very, very good picture, and probably beyond that, hopefully settled collectors down a little bit. I know he settled me down quite a bit.
Well,
because I thought the worst of this is going to be, okay, maybe he did send money to the bookmaker, and then all of a sudden gambling allegations go up left and right out of all places of the internet.
Yeah.
But came out, vehemently denied everything, and quite frankly, I believe him. He seems, like I said, like a very apt individual.
Right. Seems
like a very financially smart guy. And just judging by the fact that he deferred $680 million to the 10 years following his Dodgers deal, he's only making $2 million a year as a Dodger. I'm just telling you that right now.
Well,
and he's making $680 million over the next 10 years from the Dodgers after that.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, I don't know who would defer $680 million of their salary and then go off and pay $4.5 million of gambling debts.
Well, that's, yeah.
To me, it's more adding up that Ippei's web of lies caught up to him and Ohtani, not being aware of the whole situation, because he's absolutely zoned into baseball. That's just how he is.
Right.
He lives a very private life. I even brought it up last night. You guys didn't know he got married a little while back.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I think what just the internet really taking over, saying he's it's like Jordan again.
It's a Pete Rose situation. People throwing around names just to get clicks out there.
Very, very distasteful things going on. People were not, especially.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Drew, in fairness, this story changed like 3 different times before Monday's presser.
Yes. Yeah.
This story originally came out, I believe, like last Tuesday or Wednesday.
And everybody was shitting their pants, yes.
And everybody was absolutely shitting their pants, us included. And I even said over the weekend to a lot of the people that I talk shop with, this is going to be a big week for this, regardless of what Ohtani says.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's still going to be an investigation. MLB, law enforcement, still investigating.
Okay.
From Ohtani's statement, he's fully cooperating with all of that.
Okay.
And quite frankly, I don't have any reason not to believe him.
Yeah. No,
I just like I said, you're doing this. What really got me too is he got emotional toward the end, because this guy, Ippei Mizuhara, was longtime friend. They, traveled up and down the road together, spend all the time in the world together, and this just shocking betrayal, I guess, came about, and Ohtani was kind of distraught over it, even shed a tear or two at the presser.
Right.
So.
Right. No, I just don't know why, a star. I didn't believe it I mean, you kind of wonder then, because then when you say the wife thing, it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
But he's extremely private.
yeah,
That's just how he is.
right. But it's like, it kind of like, then you start pondering, like, okay, is this a double life thing going on here? Is this, we see this major fucking, like some people, and I don't mean to throw Michael under the bus, but Michael, he's the fucking man, and just like Otani, and then, oh shit, does he have this double life that he loves gambling and he's, playing golf for 10,000, which Otani was not. He was not doing that, but Jordan was doing that. I think everybody just wants, they see success and they want to fucking tear it down. But I'll tell you right now, collectors were losing their minds this week. They were not putting their Otani cards up for sale because it fucking plummeted. Now I think they're going to be coming up slowly after this investigation. But
no, I mean, yeah, they're probably still down now. But I think to use a stock market term here, I think collectors are in a hold position. Just hold on to your shit.
Yeah.
Hold on to your shit.
Yeah.
Don't make it worse.
Yes.
No. Yeah. No, I was going to bring up another point, but it immediately went out of my head. I don't remember what I was going to say.
Yeah. But no, and we wish him luck, and he is probably the most close thing modern day guy to Babe Ruth. So.
Oh yeah. Well, here's what I was going to say. It's something very generic, and I think it rings true. Everyone wants you to make it until you make it.
Right.
Otani's made it.
He made it.
And then a lot of people trying to tear him down, and they see success and they want to tear it down instead of aspiring to it. That's,
I just got to ask you before we move on to the March Madness side of as the Dodgers owner, how much do you think he was shitting his pants all last week?
I imagine he had to wear the smartwatch. Had to wear the smartwatch and keep track of his blood pressure on a minutely basis. I can assure you of that.
Holy shit.
Well, I mean, I even talked to you guys about it on PlayStation. Imagine Manfred shitting his pants.
Yeah.
Imagine if it came out that Otani was gambling and he did a tell-all interview this past Monday. And what position does that leave Manfred in? And not to say that that's not going to happen. That could be much more to this than what Otani's letting on. I just have no reason to believe otherwise at this point.
Right. There's going to be more maybe that comes out.
But yeah, let's say hypothetically Otani admits to gambling. What do you do if you're Rob Manfred? Because that's your meal ticket right now. That's your face of the franchise. That's, the guy that, could be on the MLB logo at some point. It's your biggest star in your league, your biggest money draw in one of the biggest sports markets in the world.
Right.
And you have the precedent of banning guys for life for gambling, a la Pete Rose.
Yep.
So what do? Do you backtrack and say, we'll let Pete Rose in? And that'll lay the groundwork for, okay, Otani, you get suspended for this season, but you get to come back.
Right.
Or does that accelerate Manfred's departure from the MLB? I know he just got an extension, but, does that accelerate that? Or does he bring the hammer down on Otani and follow the precedent? Which financially is just a nightmare.
Well, and you got to look at it too. And this was being thrown out there, and I'm not trying to end up on some fucking list somewhere. But I have to say this, MLB has to be shitting their pants as well. I mean, there's a lot.
The collective baseball universe was watching this thing unfold before their very eyes.
So, I just, it's going to be something. It's going to be a goddamn, and I had something too, Trevor, that I was going to say and just popped right out of my goddamn head. God damn it.
Was it something inspirational and motivational, like I said?
No, it was a teardown, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't know if your mom said this to you when you were younger, Drew Billy, but if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all.
What? Hold on. Actually,
Or you're just gonna ignore me and say it anyway.
I got it. So I guess what's driving me nuts as well is that how much betting has been evolved in the sports, because we haven't really touched on it much in regards to ESPN bet. You got DraftKings NIL deal with Bronny. You got all this shit. I just think at some point there's going to be a transition, because I'm for Pete Rose getting in the Hall of Fame. I've always been. I think it's bullshit. He didn't bet against his team. I know he shouldn't have done it, but he was betting on himself.
He was betting on his team. Yeah,
I think so.
And I saw an interesting stat today, Drew.
Yeah.
If you start MLB careers at age 27, the only two guys with 3,000 hits would be Ichiro, which we've talked about him at length, and Pete Rose.
I just don't know how you. I don't know. And I'll tell you, I think MLB is the most. Again, I'm not a big baseball guy. It's more Trevor and Nate on this program.
Yeah.
Cole.
I like PNC Park. That's about all I like about my team. So
right, and then
I guess we got to roll this. Yeah.
Right.
I get to watch him throw 98 miles an hour before Bednar comes in and throws 100. So it's fine.
And we've had Cole Peterson come on as a co-host, and he's made it. But I just think he made it to the MLB. But I think it just gets to the point. I think it's one of the most criticized whole process trying to make the Hall of Fame in the MLB more than any other sport.
Yes.
Is that wrong, Trevor, to say? I don't.
No, you are 100% correct, good sir.
That one night Nate was going through it, I was like, yeah, how the fuck did someone not vote for Derek Jeter? Like, that's just one, and it's writer didn't he might have not answered a writer's question. It's so interesting how that all works with the voting process in the Hall of Fame. Well,
I won't talk too much at length on this because I can talk about it more during the season and during Hall of Fame time. But what gets me about it is just the anonymity of it.
Yes.
You know, you are a faceless name, a baseball writer that only so many people actually read your shit. First,
your column,
yeah, your column. And like you said, you can pick any which reason not to put somebody in there. Like you said, somebody left Jeter off. There was a few people that left Griffey off.
Right.
Thankfully, no one left Mariano off.
I don't know how you would, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, enter Sandman. Christ, it's over.
Right.
As soon as he gets in the game. Christ. Unless it's Game 7 of the 2001 World Series, but that's another conversation for another time.
Right.
That's all I'm going to talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, but no, it just drives me nuts, and I think
I agree. I'm with you.
Now, one final question before we move on. Does this situation, let's say it's just left at this. It doesn't go any further. Okay. There's no other news that comes out with Ohtani. He's on his way to Hall of Fame career, I feel. Could this affect him getting in? Just this little blemish. And nothing came about it, but just because it's negative press here for a little bit. But it was solved that nothing went any further with it. That's my worry.
Because of how swiftly it got resolved, if this is it, like you said, if this is it, no issue.
Okay.
If some more stuff develops beyond this in the investigation and there's more Ohtani ties to it, I will say Ohtani was very swift and clear-cut. I did not do this.
Right.
This guy told lies. Yeah, he absolutely and totally threw Ipe under the bus, but you steal $4.5 million from a guy to pay off a gambling debt, your name deserves to be run through the mud a little bit.
Right.
No one's immune to that if those are your transgressions. But no, I don't think so. And this happened early enough in his career. He's going to have a long MLB career still. And people, there's probably going to be like one or two writers that say, well, he was allegedly gambling.
Right.
Allegedly.
That's what I'm saying. It's fucked up.
Yeah, that's that. Sometimes that is all it takes. Well, if we were to vote right now, whether he was a Hall of Fame, let's say he already has the resume, he's played a long career, and this scandal comes about in like the last year of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Recency bias takes over, and he might not get in first ballot. But he's got a long career ahead of him.
Okay.
I think he's going to do phenomenally with the Dodgers, while he just focuses on hitting this year. He's just going to be a DH, as far as I know. Maybe play the field.
Yep.
He's not going to pitch.
Right.
Not going to pitch because of the elbow surgery. He had that again. Working on doing that for next year. Pitching again for 2025, but not this year.
Right.
He's got a long enough career ahead of him. I don't think this will bar him.
Because that just drives me nuts.
No, I agree. And even, I don't want to say I advocate. By no means do I advocate for steroids or anything like that. But Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, you got all-time Cy Young leader, I believe, in Roger Clemens, and then you got all-time home run leader that aren't in the Hall of Fame.
A-Rod too. I know he's not. Has the same resume as those guys. I don't know. It's just funny to me, like, and we can talk further about it when it gets closer to baseball. But the whole how these stories come up, I just feel like MLB, there's more interesting stories that come about, like the Derek Jeter send-off gifts that he would give to the ladies, Trevor. That, like, you know what I mean? Like the media really fucking does some shit to these poor guys.
No, I know. Well, yeah, if you just want any evidence of how much the media controls the MLB landscape, the all-time Cy Young leader with 7, Roger Clemens, the all-time hits leader, Pete Rose, and the all-time home run leader, Barry Bonds. If I knew nothing about them other than those facts, and you told me they're not in the Hall of Fame, I'm like, is there a Hall of Fame?
Right. Right.
I mean, I know those guys that, they screwed up in their own respective ways, but that's just kind of a funny little nugget.
Yeah.
Kind of a funny little nugget. You have these all-time great guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame for whatever reason.
And another nugget I want to throw out there before we move on is I'm not a big Joe Buck guy. But I have came across his undeniable little podcast interview. I think they're from long ago, but they've just been added to YouTube. If you haven't watched any episode, make sure to watch the Roger Clemens one, because they go to some places that I don't think Roger has ever talked about publicly. So, very good episode. Rodman was on there as well. I name dropped his ass. It was a very good episode as well. Just want to put that out there. But
you always got it. Let's see. When's the last time you brought up Rodman last week? Right? Did you bring him up at some point? I feel like you did.
No, when we did our starting lineup.
Was that the last time you brought Rodman up on this program?
And I showed
wait. When you showed the book. That was the same week you did it when. Okay. Yeah. That's right. Okay.
But.
I was going to say, we went 3 weeks without you bringing up Dennis Rodman, and now we're back on the train.
Yeah, we're back on the train. But seriously, go watch that
it's all good.
On Clemens, because I think there's a lot of things that people are find misunderstood about him, and he answers those questions. So
fair enough.
Yeah. But what the hell? We got to move on to our bracket.
Yeah, we can look at it if you really want to. I mean,
shit.
I don't know. Yeah, let me pull it up here. I'll see what we're looking at here, and I can share screen too. I'll have to.
Yep. I got you.
We'll have to zoom in on it. Do we want to address the elephant in the room first?
What would that be, Trevor?
You okay? Kentucky.
We missed on it.
Yeah. It was it's a tragic misfire.
They call it madness for a reason, my friend. We're not going to get Warren Buffett's goddamn prize money out of that bracket. That's okay.
No.
It's a shame. We love you, Calipari. We love you.
Yeah, as unfortunate as it is, Calipari might have coached his last game at Kentucky. Rumors swirling around with that. What are you doing now? You playing with stuff? You had it right the first time. Do the first one.
Hold on. Remove. There we go.
All right. Need me to zoom in a little bit?
Let me look on here. Yeah, just a little bit, dude. Oh, yeah, you can see it pretty good on.
There we go. Good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got FAU wrong up here. Auburn. Can we talk about the SEC? Please. The SEC, won 2 games in the first round? And this was after the SEC commissioner came out and said we need to not let these lower bids in because it takes away from the quality of the games. Dumbass.
Yeah.
How about you win some damn games then?
Right.
Sorry, this is just frustration with the SEC boiling over. And, of course, cat's out of the bag here. They lost to Jack Golke in Oakland.
Jesus Christ.
As a 3 seed, no less.
It's a goddamn shame.
I told you to pick Duquesne, bud. Told you to pick Duquesne, bud.
I know. It's
yeah. This one I'm not upset over, Drake.
No.
Not upset over that. Michigan State. I told you Mississippi State was going to turn the ball over a shit ton, and they did.
Well, yeah.
UNC, good there. Did we pick Grand Canyon? Yeah, we did. That's right.
Yep.
Very good.
And then Alabama. I don't think it's bad, but
no, I mean, other than the Kentucky thing, it's not horrendous, but it's not. I mean, our max is very limited by Kentucky being out, of course. I mean, we're at 74% right now, so it's.
What the hell's our ranked 6 million?
Yeah, 6.9 million.
How many brackets are there? You know what I mean? I want the.
A shit ton. A shit ton. I know that. I can throw it up on the dashboard here in a little bit, but.
How many brackets?
Yeah, James Madison. We picked James Madison over Duke. Oops.
22 million brackets, Trevor. We're not doing too bad, you know.
Is that what it is? 22 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not terrible.
I mean,
other than our champion being hot.
Right. Oh,
shit. Just scrolling through here. Good call on Purdue. Got this section of the bracket right. Minus, I think we picked the Horned Frogs. The Aggies won instead, Utah State.
Yeah.
That Creighton game gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, what's the game? We won't give a name drop in here, but what was the game that there was intense betting going on while in the party, Trevor? What game was that?
Oh, was that the A&M game? Yeah, that was Houston, Texas A&M.
Yeah, a lot of
back and forth on that one. That one, Houston was up by, I think it was 12 with about 4 minutes left. Texas A&M comes back, ties it. They go into overtime.
Yeah, I think our mutual friend needs to get a hold of Gamblers Anonymous.
No, he was fine. He was up. He was up when he did that. He was fine. He's not pulling an Ipe Mizuhara, okay?
Well, right.
He's doing okay. I think he has some semblance of self-control. It's just sometimes emotions get the best of you, and you throw a little bit too much money down, and you end up losing. It's the nature of the beast, man. You got to live with the losses, and you got to celebrate the wins.
Yes, you do.
Because generally, if you're like me and you make parlays, trying to make plus money, the wins come fewer and more far between than I would like. But
yes.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. We still have Houston to hold on to here. If they can win, we can get some more points there. But other than that, that side of the bracket's kind of shot.
Yeah.
With Kentucky. This side of the bracket's not too bad. Got Illinois, Iowa State right. Need Iowa State to take care of business, as well as Connecticut to take care of San Diego State. And on this side, actually, 3 of our 4 Final Four are still intact. It just so happens that the one that we picked to be the champion is out.
Right. Right.
Decent over here. I did not have Clemson getting this far in any of my brackets.
Well,
I don't know how I feel about that. I thought the Lobos of New Mexico coming in were going to be able to take care of business after winning their conference tournament, but they just got absolutely thumped. Then Clemson beat out a perennial, what has become a perennial Sweet 16 program in the Baylor Bears.
well, yeah. But,
So, good call on Tennessee. Good call. I'm rooting for Creighton in that one because I have Creighton in a work bracket in which I have Creighton as the champion. So I need Creighton to take care of business there. And, of course, I vehemently opposed Tennessee making it this far throughout the whole process of picking this bracket last week.
well,
Hopefully that made for some entertaining television. Well, not television, an entertaining video.
yeah.
Hopefully some nice little clips to throw on the socials. But
Right. I'll tell you, though, they are just a different animal right now, Tennessee. I'm not sure what the hell's the difference, what the hell the coach did, but yeah, they're not the team that I saw in the regular season, Trevor. I'll tell you that. More in your face, more attacking going on than kind of just fucking going out there with the arms up and guy hits the 3-ball right in the guy's eye. And so
playing more physical than I thought they could too.
Right. The coach lit fire under their ass, I think. But
They're turning it on at the right time, I can tell you that much.
well,
And that game has me nervous. That game has me very, very nervous.
definitely will be tuning into that.
Oh, likewise. Only thing that sucks, it's a 10:09 p.m. tip.
Yes.
So, you might have to take a mid-afternoon cat nap to have the energy to keep up with this thing.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That is on a Friday night, though, so that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I'm not planning on working too much on Saturday, so I'll be all right.
That's the beauty.
That's the beauty. Yeah, I know I would have done a little bit more of an analysis had it not been for this, but
Well, yeah.
it is what it is. I'm dying on my sword. I picked Kentucky and a good bit of my brackets to make Final Fours, Elite Eights. I had them going at least to the Elite Eight in every single one of my brackets.
They broke our fucking hearts.
Yes, very much. Very much. And it's unfortunate because Coach Cal might be done there as well. Very respectable. Clarion product, too, by the way.
We love them. Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that. Enough of the sour grapes. You win some, you lose some, and sometimes a bracket gets busted every now and again. I'm probably not doing a Sweet 16 bracket. I've never liked those.
Okay.
You live with what you got.
Yeah. No. But anything else, my friend?
I got what's more likely, and then we'll be done.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I got it. Right here.
Over here. All right. Yep.
We gotta get an intro for this too. Yeah, we gotta. Okay. No, you don't have to do it now. We'll plan one and we'll do it proper for next week. Or are you doing one now?
It's called Night Drive.
Okay, I want to go to
more
sleep.
Likely.
I want to go to sleep. That's what I'm going to do. We should have just waited until next week.
What's more likely with Trevor again here?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I felt like I was in a
Anyway. Poetry clap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and read a haiku. 5, 7, and 5. 5, 7, and 5.
Shit.
Those that remember AP English will know what I'm talking about right there. But anyway, what's more likely? Of course, we got talking about rule changes, kind of circling back to the NFL.
Yep.
What's more likely to be the higher total in 2024? The NFL points per game, or in thousands of dollars, the average fine for the swivel maneuver hip drop tackles?
I'm going to have to.
I know my answer.
One.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, and people don't probably still questioning why someone would have to do a hip drop tackle. I'm thinking of the 5'10" cornerback safety. That's tackling a George Kittle or I'm trying to Farmuth or some big guy, and that's the only way that all their weight and fucking get them on the ground. I mean, that's I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. We saw the level of the fines when they came out with the helmet-to-helmet rules and the roughing the passer rules and all that.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it would project the same with this hip drop tackle business to try and, curtail the activity at the outset. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to set the fines high. You're just going to disincentivize and make people learn, I guess, how to tackle again without doing the swivel maneuver hip drop. But in that same vein, and in sympathizing with J.J. Watt's comments on the matter, what's more likely, and I'm hoping this one gets you a little bit fired up at least, what's more likely, that we see flag football at the Olympics in 2028 first, or we see flag football in the NFL before then?
The day that they put flags around these men, I will not watch football.
That's the answer I wanted to hear.
I don't know. Here we go, Trevor. You just
I struck a nerve.
My fucking hand is shaking.
You mean you can't feel your hands? Go ahead.
I can't right now. The reason, and we've really documented this over the season with you and Nate and Cole and whoever we've had on the program at times. People watch the fucking thing for the combat style to the football. I don't want people getting their fucking legs broken, concussions. I don't want CTE happening to these players.
Agreed.
But when there's a guy coming across and you just fucking smack him, come on. You get God damn it. That's what the football's about. And they're just taking it out. And here's the other thing. These guys, in offseason, you watch Derrick Henry's fucking workout thing. You watch Patrick Mahomes. They're all doing crazy shit. They're doing like boxing, like guy punching them in the stomach to get their fucking shit all ready to go. They are literally getting ready for the combat, and you're just taking it away slowly. And you have players from the past and present bitching about how you're changing the game. Because I'll tell you right now, the fans are going to stop coming to games the more you take away, including me. If I see flags on a goddamn Steeler, I might be done. And I will watch on Sunday highlights and games from back in 2006 and to 2010. That'll be my Sunday. So I'll just watch reruns.
You can throw those. You can throw those late aughts Steelers Ravens Sunday Night Football on. You can throw that on a loop for me for the rest of my life, and I'll be satisfied. Haloti Nada breaking Ben's nose, and them then on the sideline snapping it back into place.
Right.
You don't see that anymore. A guy dislocates a pinky, he's out for the game.
Right. And here's the other thing, and it's an issue, and I've been an advocate, but I have no goddamn control or no money to even make a movement out of it. But that's great. You're changing these rules. Change the goddamn field. Not going to stop hemming on this. That's great. Where are we at with the field? I didn't see that on the agenda. I don't know if you saw that. Did not see that.
That's the thing. It's like in terms of an NFL scale, it's a pretty cheap fix. It's not that hard.
Not touched on in the agenda.
Yeah.
Tomlin, I don't know if he was asked it. I watched that one-on-one interview we had. I don't know what's going on, but he's more not going towards controversy too, Trevor. So I don't know if he was told to shut the fuck. Well, Andy Reid situation, but I don't know. But I hope it's 2028 we see flag football in the Olympics and not the other way around.
I think, and I knew I'd fire you up with that one. I think 2028 is a bit too soon for that. I think the NFL is going to see, flag football and how safe it is at the Olympics, and we're just going to accelerate toward that pace maybe after that. But until then, we'll get some semblance of the game that, we once knew in the late 2000s and early 2010s. That's when to me, that's the epitome of the game. That's when Steelers were at the peak of their powers with Ben Roethlisberger. They had the most talent in the NFL, the Killer Bees. And, the game was still physical enough. Player safety was enough of a priority. You were taking care of guys with concussions. You were giving guys the retirement money and the pension money that they needed without literally nitpicking at every single little rule that inconveniences a couple players during the season.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, by our dad's age, both our dads' ages, it'll be flag football. Or if not sooner. Yeah. Yeah. No. And we'll talk about, maybe we'll still be doing this podcast on a higher platform by then, but I think we'll be saying, remember back in 2004, Big Ben gets drafted and he just got the shit knocked out of him. Nowadays, look at how hard he tugged that flag. What the fuck is it? No, that's not entertaining, Trevor. Look at that. Then they're going to start drafting. Okay, now you got me. Okay,
we're in the seventh inning now of this little rant. Go ahead.
Now we're going to look at the hand sizes of guys and their grip strength. That's what's going to be the main focus. Can he really
that's pretty key right now too, but that's going to become even more important.
Whole nother.
Yeah.
Well, is he able? What's his agility like in regards to now? We're not just talking about wrapping him up. He has to get his hips moving. So now it's going to be what? Is he going to do fucking whatever? The fucking cha-cha. How good's he at doing the salsa? How's his dance moves? Because that's what he's going to need on the field for them not to touch his waist. Whatever. That's holy shit. Okay, Raj.
You good, bud? Can I go on to the next one, or do you want to rant some more?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to. Yeah. That's terrible.
I knew I'd get you fired up. That's how it goes. Talking about Shohei Ohtani, Dodgers projected to win 102.5 games. Well, at least that's the over-under on FanDuel. So what's more likely to be the higher total? Dodger wins or Shohei Ohtani RBIs? And remember, he's only hitting this year. And then also remember, he's coming off the elbow surgery.
I'm going to go with the first one.
Dodger wins.
I think they're going to have a really good season. I do. Yeah. I like it, but I'm going to pick Ohtani. Well, either or worse, I think.
Well, it's going to be close. I don't know. I'd have to look at the Dodger roster as a whole, see how good their pitching staff is, see if they're able to win that many. Because you don't win 100 games without a pretty good pitching staff.
You need that.
You need hitting, absolutely, but you need a pitching staff even more so to win those tight 3-2 ball games and close those out as well. Because you're going to have plenty of those as you go throughout the season. That's just the nature of pro baseball.
Yeah.
But no, I'll say Ohtani just explodes, has like 115 RBIs, somewhere in that neighborhood. And the Dodgers, I think they reach 105 wins. I'll give them that.
Okay.
I'll give them that. They usually hit a slump somewhere that kind of prevents them from getting an even higher total. And here's the thing too, they might rest their guys a little bit going into the playoffs because they've had a history of disappointing in the playoffs, minus that COVID season where Kershaw finally got his ring. Thank Christ. No, I know. So they might keep guys well rested for playoff time. So I'll say 100 and I'll say at least 105 wins. But Ohtani has like 115 RBIs. So like I said, it's going to be pretty close though.
Okay.
So we looked at our bracket briefly, and like I said, I wanted to do a little bit more of an analysis on it, but there's really not a whole lot of analysis to do when your champion's gone.
Right.
We both agreed on it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it was. We were high on Kentucky. I was high on the SEC coming into the whole thing. And look where we are now. I think how many SEC teams we got left? Tennessee. I think that might be it. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank on everyone else because after Kentucky lost, I paid attention. Sure, I watched the games, but the fire wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's more likely? That the rest of our Final Four, UConn, UNC, and Tennessee, all make it to the Final Four, or none of them make it to the Final Four. All or nothing.
Well, fuck.
Yeah, I know. I like to mess with your brain, Drew Billy.
I'll go with all of them make it. The only one I'm really concerned about, I'll be honest with you, is Tennessee.
You were high on Tennessee, bud.
We're getting a little too,
You're flying a little close to the sun?
Yeah, we got to just see how
Think so?
I
don't want to burn your wings off.
Yeah, I saw some things, though, that they could be exploited in ways if they don't tighten it up. Because we've been talking about tightening it up in a lot of different areas. But but no, they need to. Their team, Trevor, they give up a run and they could fall in the hole. So, I mean, if they can just keep on the pedal, they're good. But if not, no. But I'll go with all of them. Mm-hmm.
I'm optimistic as well. Yeah. I'll go with it's more likely that all of them make it than none of them. At the very least, I think UConn's going to make it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give them that. I think it's more likely that's 2 out of the 3. Like you said, I'm most worried about Tennessee as well. But UNC just looks like an absolute world beater right now with the amount of talent that they have on that team. And they're disciplined too. Yeah, yep. They seem to be pretty disciplined too. So you match talent with discipline, and you're going to have a nice little winning tradition there. And UNC's had that for a long time.
Well,
so more going into NBA talk because we're going to have playoffs coming up here in a little bit. And my Sixers have unfortunately slipped into now in a play-in position. Yeah, I think we have 9 wins since Embiid's been hurt, so not good. That's 9, 9, or 10. I can't remember exactly, but not good. Not a good record with him out of the lineup. But with that being said, I want to start this conversation a little bit.
Okay.
Most likely current play-in team from the Eastern Conference to make a run to the conference finals. Right now, you got Miami in a play-in spot. You got the Sixers in a play-in spot, Bulls, and Hawks. And I believe it's in that order as well.
You said conference finals.
Make it to the conference finals. That's all I need them to do.
I don't know, Trevor.
And it is in that order. So Miami, Philly, Chicago, Atlanta, 7 through 9 in order. or 7 through 10 in order.
Not just saying this because you're a Sixers fan. It'd have to be the top 2 I feel comfortable with.
Pick one.
Miami just you got me in a fucking situation.
I know. I like to do this.
And you're a Sixers fan.
You're not going to offend me by who you say. You're not going to offend.
It really matters, and I think I said it when Embiid first went down. Was okay. He's going to be out for a limited amount of time here. It matters how he comes back. Just Miami's just. God, they're just tenacious, though. They're just,
They know how to turn it on in May and June.
And we've seen it,
April, May.
Right now, in the current state of the Sixers, I'm going to have to stay Miami. But I really do think hell's going to freeze over when Embiid comes back. I really do. He's going to be fresh. And these guys, I don't know how much they're sitting out. But you got a fresh Embiid. It's like a fucking King Kong coming back. So
no, I know.
Yeah, it matters how he comes back, really. But right now, in the current state, Miami. But I could be. I really do.
It's speaking of King Kong, new King Kong Godzilla movie coming out. I might go watch that.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I might go watch that.
But that's just honest opinion. I don't want to be biased.
No, you're totally fine. And honestly, looking at it, and if you look at recent history, it's easy to pick the Heat. They just know how to go on a run at the right time.
Right.
That's the nature of that franchise. Pat Riley really knows how to put it together. So
well, yeah.
And those players know how to get hot at the right time. Playoff Jimmy, man, he's a different breed. He is an absolutely different breed. Unfortunately, didn't work out for the Sixers. The one season he was on us. It almost did, if not for a miracle shot by Kawhi. I don't think I will ever get over that shot. I will probably be on my deathbed cursing the name of Kawhi Leonard for that very shot.
I'd love to see sports science on that shot. I don't know if they did an episode or something on that, but I'd just like to see the percentage of that ball bouncing like that.
No, I know. I know.
But
Mike Breen's call just rings in my ears on a daily basis and gets me fired up.
Yeah, I actually lost. We had a little college bet thing going on there, and I did have the Sixers win. That's why I was really pissed.
Yep.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, you can imagine how I felt. My dad and I watched that game together and broke shit. I would just say that.
Well.
And, I then watched the play over and over and over for 2 hours and drank myself to sleep that night. Not ashamed to say it. Happened a while ago. I'm not over it. I'll never be over it. But anyway, all that to say,
yes,
I'm too busy lamenting on the past here to answer my own damn question. I understand your assessment. I am going to pick my Sixers. I think the pieces are in the right spot. If we get early season Sixers with Embiid in there and he's putting in 30 a night, and Maxi's putting in 25 a night, and Tobias Harris is actually showing up to ball, doing what he's supposed to do. Right. If he only even scores 18 to 20 a game, that's what we need him to do. We need him to make big shots as well. If he's making the big shots and our depth is cycling in and out, Paul Reed's giving us good minutes, I think we'll be fine. I think we can make a run to the conference finals. Finally. History is on your side's pick, though.
Well, I will tell you either way. I would like to see. I at this point, I really don't give a shit what team. I just don't want the goddamn Celtics winning it.
No, that is one thing we can definitely agree on. Absolutely.
I cannot stand them. As the season goes on, I just watch the little clippings from here and there, and it's like, okay. And I caught one of their recent games, and I'm like, I still fucking hate you guys. I still hate you. I hate the green Celtic.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep, that 3-leaf clover can burn, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, last one, more of a positive one.
Okay.
This one won't make me lament on the past because I don't have a history with either of these two teams that I'm about to bring up.
Yes, sir.
Two teams in somewhat different states of their franchise, but we obviously know one of them, very young, very high ceiling going into the future. We don't know how quick that future is going to get here.
Yes.
Another one has a lot of talent and two primary ball handlers, major stars, and they've just been going off this season. Talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously being that young buck of a team with still a shit ton of draft capital coming up in the next few years.
Yes, they do.
And the Dallas Mavericks. Talking about Kyrie, talking about Luka.
Yep.
Two all-world talents that have obviously a championship ceiling if they really want it.
Yep.
So I have to ask you, Drew Billy, I'm going to put you in a nice little spot here again.
Okay.
With teams that I don't think you have any issue with either, so we'll get an unfiltered, unbiased opinion here.
Yes.
Between these two, Oklahoma City and Dallas, who's more likely to win an NBA championship within the next 5 years?
Just based off of leadership, I'm going Mavs.
Ooh, I like it.
Just based off of there's a culture there that Cuban has, in Rick Carlisle,
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
That has been just kind of passed down. And I know Mark's getting out of, I think he's getting out of the organization or whatever's going on with that. But
he's not going to have a majority stake anymore.
Right.
He's still going to own a piece of it, but he's not going to have a majority, is my understanding of it.
So, but I really just want to see Luka get a ring. I enjoy watching him. Yeah. He's not better than Dirk Nowitzki, though, and he will never be better than Dirk Nowitzki. So I'm just going to.
I
get it.
He could be. But no, as far as I'm concerned, talent-wise, I think Patty Mahomes in the NFL and Luka in the NBA are on the same level. As long as you have one of those two guys in your respective sports, the window's open.
Yep.
And the window's open with Luka. Whether he has to single-handedly take his team through the playoffs and take his team through dynasties or whatever he's got to do, I'm going to go with Dallas as well. Oklahoma City, they might have a championship in the next 10 years. I don't know if it's going to be within the next 5, though.
Yeah.
They got to run through the playoffs a couple times. They got to learn what it's like to be in those high-pressure situations, both as players and as a unit. And as an organization, really. You got to be able to manage through that as an organization.
Right.
I think they got some learning to do when it comes to the playoff side of things. I believe they're second in the West right now. I just had it up. They are second in the West behind the Denver Nuggets, actually a game behind. Same amount of losses, 2 less wins for the Thunder. But I really like the Thunder a lot. I'm really excited for their future. They're going to have a lot of success in these next 10 years. But I think a championship is just beyond that 5-year mark, which is kind of why I said it there. And yeah, of course, I was intrigued to hear your answer on it. And honestly, end the show on a bit more positive of a note than me lamenting on Kawhi Leonard and the Sixers and the Raptors and all that. Talk about more positive things. Hey, who's going to win a title?
Yeah. No, I just like Luka because he's kind of like a carefree. Just loves playing the game. Just loves basketball.
Oh yeah.
There's not been any bullshit with him. That's one thing I gotta.
Nothing that stems off the court. He's a bit of a whiner on the court when it comes to foul calls and refereeing, but as far as off the court, nothing has come up.
Yeah, no bar fights or any shit like that.
That we know of.
Yes. But no, anything else though, Trevor? It was a good show as always.
Yeah. Coming up on the 2:10 mark here. I think it was a nice show filled with a lot of good content. Excited for NBA to ramp up for playoffs. Excited to get this draft going. We're a month away. We're a month away.
Yep.
Well, even less than that if you go by days.
Yep.
Very exciting times, man. Very exciting. I just only hope that somehow the Sabres and the Penguins can squeak into the NHL playoffs. But we'll see. There's a reason I don't talk about hockey on here. I'll just say that.
Okay. I got you. No. But we appreciate everybody as always for tuning in. Going to be putting out more content on the Instagram page. You'll be seeing snippets of this episode and other episodes that I will maybe do a blooper episode, or not a blooper episode, a blooper reel with myself showing Rodman's ass crack or Trevor giving us great insight on something. We'll put something together. It'll be nice. But
no, literally at the end of this, I think you can make a compilation of all the names that I've pronounced wrong. And then throw that out there. Yeah. Basically just, I now have my list of picks here too. And I can I remember, I have a photographic memory. So like, I remember exactly which ones that I got wrong.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll do that. And but make sure mark your calendars, April 25th. A lot of guests, a lot of insight, feet on the ground. Like I've said multiple times already. Don't know how many podcasts are going to have that, but it's going to be electric. So, and you don't need to have your TV on. I know that was the biggest complaint last year where people were only seeing us talk and they weren't able to actually follow along with the physical draft. We'll have the draft board back there, give insight on each draft pick so people are able to follow along. And you don't have to turn on NFL Network or ESPN. But let me close this out here, Trevor. I apologize. Have a good night. Have a good day. Stay safe out there. God bless. This is another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys with your host, DB, and host Trevor Dinsmore. It was a goddamn pleasure. Thank you all. And mark your calendars.